everybody. Welcome into 5-Star Live, the playoff edition state semifinal round here at Alcoa High School, where the Tornadoes just finished off Loudon High School 56-0 to return to, I think, what, y'all, seventh championship game in a row, something like that, every year since 2013. I hadn't done the math yet, but they're going for their fifth title in a row next week in Cookeville, and we're joined by Cam Burden, who had a big night tonight. I saw you get in the backfield tonight with an early tackle for loss, and then you got your hands on the interception. What was tonight like for you tonight?
I mean, tonight was just unbelievable defensive effort that we had. Coming into the game, all we had to do was just follow our rules. Our coaches got our back. Their game plan's always great, and it was just upon us just to do our job.
I said earlier today on the radio that Loudon was probably catching y'all at a really bad time because y'all gave up 28 points a week ago. Y'all had to be pretty ticked off about that.
We were giving up those 28 points to Austin East. Austin East they can probably beat anybody. They just got to come together and be a team. But those 28 points that week was hard for us because nobody's ever put that many points up on us before.
Did Nix get? And I'm talking about Brian Nix, the defensive coordinator. So much had been made about y'all's defense this year, all the shutouts and how few points per game you guys give up. Did he get after y'all? Did he use last week as motivation for y'all this week?
I mean, kind of, sort of, but we're not too worried about last week. We got to move on to the next game and worry about next week. Coach Nix and him, Coach Rankin, they always talk about how don't hang your head on little things, just move on to the next thing.
How important is it for this team to get done with this game early tonight, not really expend a lot of energy, not get anybody hurt, and just take care of business and move on?
Yeah, we had a couple of guys knocked down tonight. CJ went down, defensive end TT went down for a little bit, just to go ahead and get that clock running. After halftime, we go ahead and win our starters out, and just to have that good feeling that, what am I trying to say? Just to not. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I lost my train of thought.
Sorry. But you came over here, obviously, from Sevier County. Everybody knows you being there as a quarterback, defensive back. And how much have you learned under this staff and under Brian Nix? And when did you finally feel like, okay, I've adjusted, I'm on this Alcoa standard now?
Right. Coming into spring practice, it just hit me hard. I've never practiced like that in my life. Alcoa's practice, just the way their coaches get into you, they make sure that you're doing the right job. Mm-hmm. And I was never even used to that, and it hit me hard those first few weeks. And throughout the weeks, I just got used to it, and I just started playing my game.
You got an interception tonight. Kind of take me through that play. We'll show the highlights here in a little while, but take me through that play, kind of what you read and why you're able to kind of make that jump.
Before Coach Nix was talking about, he was like, "Hey, watch that screen, watch that screen." And I saw a quarterback rolling out, and I started to bite on it for a little bit, and then I was like, "No, he's about to throw it," and I jumped at him. I came back, and it just popped right to me.
Last thing with you, and I'll let you get out of here. Looking ahead to next week, to be able to play in the state championship game, where is your mind now with that in terms of just accepting it, excitement level over it and everything?
After the night, 56-9, we can't get too big-headed. We just got to stay focused, do our things. Coach got to get the game plan together. We just got to abide by the rules of it.
All right, man. I appreciate you joining us on 5-Star Live. You want to go ahead and pass the mic off to Gray Carroll, who's going to come in here, and he had a big night as well. Got his hands on an early punt to give Alcoa a 7-0 lead. And what's going on, man?
Nothing much.
All right, we're going to make sure you hold the mic up there. That way everybody at home can see. But, Jerry, let's go ahead and start rolling the highlights of the Alcoa game tonight. Y'all came into this game looking to get back to Cookeville for another year. I think y'all have been there every year since 2013. Mm-hmm. Loudon came in undefeated. What were the keys for you guys tonight defensively against them?
We just come in with our game plan, and big thing was we just had to execute because, Loudon, they were rolling, and they truly believed that they were going to come in here and, could take this game, and we just had to execute on defense and do our thing, and we did.
We just saw you block that punt return just a second ago. You just missed it while you were talking, but did you see anything on film that week that was going to maybe lead to that?
Yes, actually, as a matter of fact, I was talking to Coach Gamble on a Thursday walkthrough yesterday, And I was asking him, I'm like, what do you think about going for these punt blocks? And he's like, well, that the punter takes a very long time to punt the football. So if you go to the personal protector and run him into the backfield, you can possibly block these punts. And it just so happens that on that play, the personal protector, he didn't even come up to block me.
Mm-hmm.
So I just went back there free.
I mean, we were deep into the second quarter before you guys offensively even had a first down. You had your punt block returned for a touchdown. You just saw Isaiah Cox return 173 yards for a touchdown. Caden Tollett had a pick six in the first half. And then I think your fourth score was finally
the offense.
Yeah, the offense finally scored with Sankey with a 58-yard run, and it just seemed like defensively y'all came into this game with the mindset of, hey, we're going to get back on the shutout streak again.
Yeah, I mean it was just awesome. I mean, like that's probably the best first half defensive. I played football for 10, 11 years. That's the best. That's the coolest thing I think I've ever been a part of defensively.
And I asked Cam this, and just giving up the points that you did a week ago to Austin East, was that just kind of fuel to the fire coming into this game?
Yeah, because, I mean, they had a lot of big plays. Trey Foster, he, threw 2 deep balls, ran the long one for like 79 yards, and then whatever the other one was. But, yeah, it was, that's just fuel to the fire. And, we come in here and just executed and got the job done.
Y'all will be going for a 5th consecutive state championship next week.
Sir.
I know we don't know yet who you play, but what changes maybe mentality-wise going into championship week, if anything?
Nothing changes. I mean, it's just a game plan. We got to stick to it. It's consistent every day. I mean, we just do what Coach Rankin and Coach Nick say, whatever, and just keep it going.
You also have a special day next week on Monday. You'll find out if you win Mr. Football or not. But just to even be up for that award, you see the people through the years who've been nominated or have won it. Pretty cool company to keep there.
Yeah, it's a blessing. I mean, like, as a freshman coming into the program, that was one of my big goals. I'm like, hey, I want to be at least nominated. I just wanted the chance. And now that it's here, it's just been an overall cool experience. But I want to thank, my community and my coaches. I have the greatest support system out there. I mean, it's just teammates, brotherhood. I mean, it's amazing experience.
Well, Grace, thanks so much for joining us up here on
Yes,
5
sir.
Star Live. Congratulations on the win tonight, and best of luck next week.
Appreciate it.
All right, we're going to be joined by Gary Rankin here in just a moment. You can go ahead and pass that mic off to Gary, and we'll get the head coach's thoughts on another state championship appearance here for Alcoa Tornadoes, as they've won a TSSAA all-time best 17 state championships, and again going for their 5th in a row next week in Cookeville. Gary, thanks for joining us on the set tonight.
You're welcome.
Big week for you guys, and obviously playing on Thanksgiving week is always special. And just how do y'all approach it year after year when the kids are out of their routine, they're out of school, and things can go wrong every now and then for teenagers when they get outside of that routine?
Well, luckily, and I guess being blessed, we've been able to do it quite a bit. So I think we know how to do it, and we treat it the same every Thanksgiving, and we think we've got the formula and the way to do it, but I mean it's touchy in there, and sometimes I think last year I probably overworked our kids. We won it last year, but I didn't think we played exceptionally well in the semifinals and the finals, and competition had something to do with that, and maybe my stubbornness about overworking some kids. But it played well tonight, and our kids they responded, and it was a great first half.
Yeah, I mean you guys jumped on Loudon from the get-go, from Gray's opening punt block, and then you had a couple of pick sixes for touchdowns, and it's just every facet was on tonight.
It was unbelievable. I think we had 8 snaps the first half, and 3 of those were touchdowns. And Loudon's they're a good football team, but didn't show tonight. But we jumped on them so hard and so fast and so heavy. They didn't have much of a chance early, but they had a great year. Jeff did a great job coaching those kids, and they got nothing to be ashamed of.
So many people have talked about the Alcoa defense this year, but how have you grown offensively going into the state championship game?
Well, I think we've grown, and it's no secret we're going to put our best people on defense a lot of times first, and I mean they play on both sides, but if we rest kids, we usually rest them on offense, and we've been pretty balanced, and our kicking teams have just been phenomenal all year. We've done a great job with our kick teams, and we're pretty balanced right now.
When you look at Ahmad Sankey, he was a kid that I guess when he got here or came into the high school ranks, I kind of thought he'd be one of the star receivers in the area. You guys have used him out of the backfield or running the football quite a bit this year.
Yeah, he made a great run. I don't know if he touched it but one time tonight,
right.
But he's explosive. He's got probably as good a vision as any back I've been around, and he didn't get many touches tonight, but he certainly took advantage of the ones that he did get.
Do you think he'll play running back in college, or
I'm not sure. He may be an inside receiver. Just He's got a lot of ability, and he may be an inside receiver. He can certainly catch the football and do a lot of things with it.
We don't know yet who you guys play, whether it's Pearl-Cohn or whoever, but what do you know right now about those two teams on the other side of the
Totally
bracket?
two different teams. I mean, you're looking at two different teams to get ready
Covington and Pearl-Cohn, is that right?
Yes, Covington's a wing tee. Everything's in there tied in a small box, and they'll throw it 2 or 3 times a game. And Pearl-Cohn's just the opposite. They're spread out, and they probably have more speed than we do. One of the few teams that, certainly in 3A, that could match us or have more speed than we do. So it'll be interesting. But I mean, we're trying to find out right now who we got, and the preparation for both of them is just totally different.
Yeah, so you probably have to prepare more for Pearl-Cohn. Y'all have seen Covington. I mean, you kind of know
We've seen
what they're about.
Covington, but seeing the type of offense that they run, and we just don't see that much, and we haven't seen it all year. So, from getting ready standpoint, you'd probably want to play Pearl-Cohn. It's a lot simpler, a lot mirror the teams that we've played. Athletically, they're tremendous athletes, tremendous.
I don't want you to give too many secrets away, but what's the key to handling all the distractions and the different schedules and everything with championship week?
Well, I mean, I think, like I say, we've been able to do it before, and we don't change a whole lot. I think I learned my lesson years ago. If you don't watch out, you get overwhelmed. Not with the game necessarily, but somebody's wanting you to come here and eat, and somebody's wanting to bring your kids here for this and that. And we try to keep it as normal a week as we can, and we've done a good job with that. And, if any first-year coach is getting down there for the first year, I'd tell them to be careful what happens that week and try to keep it as normal as possible.
Yeah. Well, Gary, thanks so much for sticking around tonight with us and joining us here on 5 Star Live. We'll see you Monday at Media Day, and best of luck next week.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thanks.
you. We're going to take a quick break. Stay with us. We're going to have highlights from around the area, Greenback, South Pittsburgh, West and Central, Maryville, Oakland, all that right here on 5 Star Live.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
Make the plays. The dedicated ones never quit. Weekend warrior or professional, all athletes get hurt. And when you do, Tennessee Orthopedic Clinic's comprehensive sports medicine team is ready to take you on. The power of results.
The 5-Star Preps Player of the Week is proudly presented by Smith Built Homes, East Tennessee's most trusted home builders since the 1950s. Smith Built dedicates themselves to producing a home that owners, their families, and neighbors can be proud of for generations to come.
Welcome back to 5 Star Live here in Alcoa again, where the Tornadoes polished off Loudon 56-0 in the 3A state semifinals. They return to Cookeville for a 7th consecutive year. They'll be looking for their 5th consecutive state championship. And number 18 overall, they're going to face either Pearl-Cohn or Covington. So stick with us on Twitter or Facebook, and we'll keep you up to date on all of those state championship pairings. We just got a final score. Greenback has come back from a deficit to beat South Pittsburgh 27-26. So congrats to the Cherokees in 1A going back to the state championship game for the second time in 3 years. Holden Willis had a monster game tonight. Jared, you want to go ahead? Yeah, let's go ahead and roll some footage. This is early in the game. Braden Carnes, of course, has thrown for over 3,000 yards, establishing that pass game with Holden Willis. And then here comes the historic touchdown catch from Holden Willis, Mr. Football finalist in 1A. That's his 27th receiving touchdown on the season. That's a TSSAA single season state record, and he would add to that total later on in the night. But South Pittsburgh took a 14-7 lead into the half on the strength of this 30-yard touchdown run, followed by another 8-yard touchdown run here in the second quarter. Greenback fumbled there at the end of the first half and nearly allowed South Pittsburgh to scoop and score, but they were able to stave off that score, keep the game at 14-7. Holden Willis, out of the Wildcat, gets a touchdown to cut the deficit to 20-14. You see he's fired up there, and Greenback's going to add to that total. Here's another long pass to Holden Willis, getting the ball downfield. You can see there's guys draped all over him tonight. Touchdown, Greenback. He had another big play later on in the game, but again, final score, Greenback 27-26 over South Pittsburgh. Congrats to the Cherokees and that community, to Greg Ryan. This is going to be a tough game against South Pittsburgh. Everybody knew that. South Pittsburgh is one of the state standards in 1A football, and they did not like Whitwell knocking them off and becoming kind of the power down in the Chattanooga area. So Pittsburgh came into this game undefeated. Greenback wills their way to a victory at home tonight. In 2A, Meigs County just finished off Trousdale County 22-20 as they advance. We talked about Alcoa's win, and just another dominating performance by Alcoa's defense this year. 9 shutouts on the season for the Tornadoes. In 4A, Elizabethan knocked off Nolensville 34-12. Elizabethan and Sean Witten finally get to the state championship game. It's been since 1939, and they didn't even have the playoff system back then, so who knows how they got there in that place. But it's been a long time coming for Elizabethan. I remember up there going to games up there with CAK in the 2011-2012 range where they're knocking off Elizabethan in the 3A semifinals. And so now in 4A, they got over the hump with Greenville this year and knock off Nolensville 34-12 to advance to the state championship game. On to maybe the marquee game of the night, besides Maryville, Oakland, was in 5A, where two local teams, West High School and Central, collided. Up in Fountain City, West comes in their first state semifinal appearance since 2014. Meanwhile, Central lost its last 2 games of the regular season. Everybody wrote them off. Powell was kind of the clear-cut leader as going to be the 5A favorite going into the postseason. Then you had South Doyle. Then you had West. Central, though, going back to the state championship game for the 3rd time in 4 years. The Bobcats win 10-0 tonight over West. Jason Merritt's had a first-half touchdown, put them up 7-0. Swislowski, their field goal kicker, had a field goal block, but then he comes back, shows some mental strength, and boots through a 37-yard field goal there in the second half to put them up 10-0, capitalizing on an interception by the Bobcat defense. And Central able to hold off a couple of late charges by West down into the red zone, and West just could not convert these 4th downs down there in meaningful time and meaningful space on the football field. So it's Central, the defending state champions, going back to Cookeville for the 3rd time in 4 years. We'll see if they can repeat as state champion. And then finally in 6A, Oakland at Maryville. Oakland, the defending state champions, they smoked Maryville last year 38-0 in the state semifinals, and everybody started to wonder, is Oakland the new Maryville? No, they're not. Maryville responds this year, gets a 12-0 win over Oakland tonight, and it was a tight one throughout, only 5-0 at halftime, as Price kicked through a 31-yard field goal in the first half. Then, of course, Maryville got a safety to make it 5-0. Maryville tried to kick a 45-yard field goal there in the waning seconds of the first half. They missed that, took a 5-0 lead into the second half. The third quarter went by and a snap. This game was not a mercy rule game, and it got over in an hour and 45 minutes. It was a lot of running the football, a lot of chewing up clock. And with 5:29 left, Maryville faced a 4th and 1 at the Oakland 11. They tried a quarterback sneak with Cade Chambers. They did not get that, but they come back, and Drew Crowder, who had 2 huge interceptions tonight, had an interception about 12 seconds later to get Maryville the ball back. And T. Hodge, do we have video of that? T. Hodge powers in 5 yards and he was an absolute man tonight for Maryville. That was the game-clinching touchdown, 5 yards out from T. Hodge with 2 minutes and 12 seconds to play. T. Hodge rushed 27 times, 177 yards, and a touchdown. And I'm telling you, T. Hodges looked different this postseason than I've ever seen him. I saw him play well at times during his junior year, but he's had the turf toe injuries. He's had the broken leg. Everybody was concerned about his weight gain in the offseason that he did intentionally to try to bulk up. But that guy has looked phenomenal this postseason, and he was definitely the MVP for Maryville tonight as they shut down Oakland's offense. This is an Oakland offense that had 86 points in a game this year, 80 points in another game, coming in just routing people. And as the defending state champion, get this, Maryville holds them to 109 total yards of offense. That's 5 shutouts for the Maryville defense in the last 7 games. So congrats to Maryville. Congrats to T. Hodge and Cade Chambers, to Derek Hunt, the third-year head coach out at Maryville, who won a state championship in 2017. Some people said, well, that was just Quarles' team. Well, look at him now. He's third year into the program. He's still moving it in the right direction. He unseated Oakland as the defending state champions and gives the Rebels another chance to win their 17th state title overall, and possibly the second and third year. So we'll see who they play. Looks like they're probably going to play Ravenwood here in the state championships next week. So that's 4 winners, Jared. 4 winners out of our 4 games. 1A Greenback. They will play on early Friday next week. So we're going to have a busy Friday next week where Greenback, Alcoa, and Central all play on the same day. And then, of course, Saturday night will be the nightcapper with the 6A championship game with Maryville. So we're going to take one last break. We'll come back and kind of recap the action and see if we can find out some scores from around the area on the other side of the state and see who these teams will play. Stick with us.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
Ones make the plays. The dedicated ones never quit. Weekend warrior or professional, all athletes get hurt. And when you do, Tennessee Orthopedic Clinic's comprehensive sports medicine team is ready to take you on. The power of results.
The 5-Star Preps Player of the Week is proudly presented by Smith Built Homes, East Tennessee's most trusted home builders since the 1950s. Smith Built dedicates themselves to producing a home that owners, their families, and neighbors can be proud of for generations to come.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
final segment here on 5 Star Live. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight as we're going to recap all of what happened earlier on tonight as 4 out of 4 classifications that we had area teams in are all going to the state championship game. Again, Greenback wins 27-26 in thrilling fashion over South Pittsburgh tonight. Huge game for Holden Willis as he had multiple touchdowns, set the state record for single season receptions, touchdown receptions in a season. The last we checked, it looks like they're going to take on Lake County. Lake County has a 24-12 lead over Huntington in the second half. Again, we'll keep monitoring that on Twitter and have updates throughout the night on 5starpreps.com. Meigs County will go on to play in the 2A championship. They won over Trousdale tonight 22-20. So Meigs finally got over the Trousdale County hump there in the semifinals. Alcoa won tonight 56-0 over Loudon. Looks like Pearl Cone has the lead 21-20 right now over Covington. And we talked with Gary Rankin about who they'd rather face next week in that state championship game. They know what Covington's about, that wing T football. Really hard to read keys on that, but they've seen Covington down there before in the state championship game, so a lot of familiarity there with the staff and knowing how to game plan for them. Pearl Cone opens up the offense a little bit more athletes on the field, so we'll see what transpires with that. But again, Pearl Cone leads. The last score I could find on Twitter, 21-20 over Covington. West High School not able to win tonight on the road at Central. The Bobcats, the defending state champions in 5A, win 10-0. A great defensive battle there. Jason Merritt's with a touchdown, Swislowski field goal, and key interception late for Central High School, and they move on. It looks like right now Summit High School is winning 21-20 after 3 quarters against Dyer County. So by no means do we know who Central's going to be playing next week in Cookeville. Dyer County is the team that knocked off Henry County a week ago. Of course, Henry County was in the championship game against Central last year, so going to be a totally new opponent for the Bobcats, but don't count them out. Everybody else has counted them out this year, and they're proving that they are for real year in and year out. And so hats off to Bryson Rosser and the Fountain City community. I know it's going to be rocking at Litton's sometime soon. Maryville wins over Oakland 12-0. That's 5 shutouts for the Maryville defense, and the last 7 games, T. Hodge, big night tonight, game-clinching touchdown, 177 yards on the ground. That guy's just been running possessed this postseason. Last we looked, it looks like Ravenwood is up 21-7 in the second half over Houston out of Memphis. So could see another Maryville Ravenwood showdown in the state championship next week. So congrats to all of our winners, to Maryville, to Alcoa, to Central, to Greenback. Shout out to West High School and Loudon for fantastic years this year, getting it to the state semifinals this year. So it's been fun doing 5 Star Live with Jared back here, our producer, all season long. We really hope you guys have enjoyed this new element that we're bringing to the high school football season every single week at halftime and a post-game show. And we've seen you guys tuning in big numbers. So really thank you to everybody out there who is supporting us and supporting 5 Star Preps. It's been really fun. Sad, hard to believe this is our last show, but we got some surprises up our sleeve, so you'll want to stay tuned. You might see a little bit of basketball right here on social media going forward. We'll have more details about that coming out in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for that. As for us, I'm Jesse Smithy, and for my main man Jared back there, thank you guys, and this is going to sign off for us tonight from Alcoa, where the Tornadoes won 56-0 over Loudon. We'll see you guys next week in Cookeville.